Okay, I really don't have any introduction for this. Most of you who are watching this have already watched the first part and also, hopefully, saw part 1.5, where I corrected my mistakes and even included some new entries and extra information not seen in part 1. If not, please do so. There's only a few more things I have left to explain after 2 videos discussing obscure and not so obscure Cartoon Network trivia. Except for this iceberg that I made myself. I do need to explain the creation of this iceberg to properly give credit. I did make the chart myself. However, not all of the entries shown here were made by me. In the Reddit post of the same iceberg I used for part 1, the Redditor, Emerson, replied with a list of missing entries. Very few were repeated, but most of them were new, and even then, some of the new ones were, too stupid for me to include. I did include some entries of my own, so in conclusion, the chart itself along with some entries were made by me, but most of the entries were mentioned by the Reddit user Emerson. If you're still wondering how these iceberg charts work, well... The same rules from part 1 apply to this and all of the future iceberg videos, minus the follow-up videos. Now, without further ado, I'd like to explain the Cartoon Network Iceberg Part 2. Cal art style. The Cal art style refers to the art style that is being used for a lot of modern cartoons on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney Channel since the 2010s. Or so they keep complaining. For the most part, the term Cal art style originates from this infamous Tumblr post, which tries to prove a point by showing the user's outlines of Dipper Pines, Star Butterfly, Steven Universe, and Gumball Watterson, and claiming that modern cartoons have an uncreative art style because they're copied and pasted between each other, with the bean-shaped heads and wide mouths, when in reality, all 4 of these characters' official outlines do not match with the Tumblr post outline, making the argument invalid. On a personal note, the outlines that piss me off the most are Dipper and Gumball's, because the official art style of both of these characters are so drastically different that it baffles me that the original poster didn't bother to think this through before redrawing them. But most importantly, even if the head shapes and mouth shapes are similar, you have to keep in mind that it's the character's design and body type that make the characters unique from one another. Another archetype of the Cal art style are the bright saturated colors, big circled eyes, and thin outlines, which, I agree, I am getting tired of seeing. Besides, not all modern cartoons use the Cal art style. So no, modern animation art styles aren't dead or copied-pasted. Also, there's this tweet I wanted to share with y'all, since we're on the topic. Just so you know, it is being sarcastic. Tom and Jerry speaking. In the 1993 Tom and Jerry movie, the both of them finally speak despite being semi-mute characters throughout the entire show.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jerry.
You talked! Well, sure I talk. What do you think I am, a dummy?
You said it. I didn't.
Hey, you little pipsqueak. I oughta... Hey! How come you never spoke before?
Well, there was nothing I wanted to say that I thought you'd understand. And there still isn't.
All right, that does it. You little... Boy, you get me angry.
Give or take Tom screams and that infamous
Don't you believe it?
Though, even before the movie, there were brief instances when the duo would speak, with their voices constantly changing.
Gee, I'm throwing away $1 million.
But I'm happy!
Hey, you want to get back in the house, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
One custard pie? Let me have it.
Off-topic question, is Jerry a boy or a girl?
What's cooking, Toots?
Starburst era. Also known as the Forgotten Era. This wasn't a very special era, it just featured a starburst around the old Cartoon Network logo, and the only notable thing about this was that it was the second era of Cartoon Network, which ran from June of 1997 until the 1st of March 1998. Cartoon Network, yes. This right here is a successor to the infamous CN City era.
I like music. I like music that goes like la 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 la.
Yeah, which started on the 3rd of April 2006 and ended on the 7th of June 2007. This era still aired the CN City bumpers with the newly added inclusions of Cartoon Network's comedic characters saying or doing something random with a red background behind them. The reason why this era is called Yes is because of Billy and Mandy's Fred Fredburger, whose catchphrase was
Yes.
Who was voiced by Chowder's creator, by the way, C.H. Greenblatt. Toonface, part of the CN City era. This was a collection of bumpers where the cartoon characters would interact with each other through their version of Facebook, aptly named as Toonface. Toontubers. So, this is a still ongoing official web series by Cartoon Network's Latin American side, exclusive to Latin America, as well, as there are no official English dubs of these episodes as far as I can see. The web series is about Mordecai and Rigby making let's plays of Overwatch, Undertale, Minecraft, any one-hit wonder game that came out in recent years, and, oh god, Five Nights at Freddy's. These gameplays were uploaded on the official Latin American and Brazilian Cartoon Network YouTube channels. Their usernames while playing these games are, I shit you not, Verdadero Mordecai 456 and Intenso Rigby. Apparently, their most recent episode as of writing this video is a collab episode with Gumball and Darwin playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Not gonna lie, this looks like a pretty bad phase where Cartoon Network desperately tried to cash in on the gaming crowd or the Let's Play scene by turning Mordecai and Rigby into Let's Players. Next thing you'll tell me that they'll make some sort of awful TikTok account for their next big show's characters. I'm serious, but that's not improbable at all. Megas XLR and Symbionic Titan are legally unable to be aired again. As I mentioned before in part 1, both Megas XLR and Symbionic Titan are now allowed to be re-aired again on television since Cartoon Network wrote them off as failures in their taxes. Megas XLR was cancelled for low ratings in 2005, and Symbionic Titan was cancelled because the show didn't have a toy license, so therefore, no toy sales revenue. Yeah, I know that is a ridiculous reason to cancel an amazing show, but keep in mind that animated shows with kids as their audience still needs to make some extra cash through toy sales and networks like these. This is just a hunch of mine, but there might be a silver lining to all of this. Like many other TV series that were cancelled before and later revived, both of these shows could come back, quite possibly on HBO Max. Think about it, HBO Max is a streaming service, and therefore, not television. I mean, Symbionic Titan is available on Netflix in some countries as recent as 2019. Even both creators are interested in continuing those shows, so there's still a possibility. Even if the show's continuations become HBO Max exclusives, then that's not so far off either. Infinity Train's last 2 seasons were exclusive to HBO Max, so the streaming service could have 2 more exclusives to gain a membership boost. And streaming services don't worry about toy sales either. I mean, look at Amazon Prime's Invincible, a violent action comic book inspired Western animated show that has done very well critically and even has a cult following. Action Western animation could make a comeback through streaming services just like Netflix's Castlevania, Seis Manos, and Blood of Zeus, and again, Amazon Prime's Invincible. At the end of the day, Symbionic Titan would have done better if it started on Adult Swim from the very start, as they wouldn't worry much about toy sales, and Adult Swim has shown reruns of Symbionic Titan after the show's cancellation. Maybe, just maybe, Adult Swim could give the show a comeback, just like Samurai Jack. Infinity Train cancellation. One of the most critically acclaimed modern animated shows in recent memory with a cult following is cancelled. Okay, real talk, a brief introduction to the show. The show follows different stories of different protagonists while riding the Infinity Train, with each train card being a separate pocket dimension. The creator of Infinity Train, Owen Dennis, planned on having 8 seasons for Infinity Train, or books as the network and creator calls them. However, the show ended up only having half of that, as HBO Max laid off half of the show's staff, and that Cartoon Network Studios passed on it as they thought the show's later seasons would be too dark for children. Oh really? Suddenly now they have an issue with dark shows, but not back in the early 2000s with frickin' Courage the Cowardly Dog. Dennis also claimed that books 5, 6, 7, and 8 would have covered the themes of grief, guilt, revenge, and acceptance respectively, and a future season would have touched on Alzheimer's disease. To rub salt in the wound, the 5th book would have been a movie focusing on Amelia. It even has a full script written for it. After the announcement that book 4 would be the final season, fans started to campaign for the show's revival and even got the hashtag Infinity Train to be #1 on Twitter for 6 hours. In my own opinion, I really do hope and wish the show comes back sooner than later, because it truly is that great and has a lot of great potential for the next few seasons. If many previous anime shows came back after cancellation, then so can Infinity Train. UNICEF PSA. UNICEF is the United Nations agency responsible for providing humanitarian and development aid to children worldwide and have made many charity events in support of children. During the CN City era, there was the Movimiento Cartoon event, where many PSAs were shown encouraging kids to use recyclable material instead of plastic, save water, and to stop bullying, basta de bullying, all in true CN City fashion, only in Latin America. There There was even a music video with Clay Aiken and Puffy Amiyumi singing Give a Little Bit after the 2004 Indian tsunami. You know, the same disaster that was shown in The Impossible. And most importantly, the Trick or Treat Beat or Kids Next Door Operation Trick or Treat Flash game, which promoted Trick or Treat charity from UNICEF. Butatun. In Latin America's Cartoon Network, there used to be a real-time competition on the network every Saturday where viewers could vote between which of two shows to have a marathon for 4 hours by voting through an SMS or on Cartoon Network's website. The block had originally ended on 2016 until apparently it came back as recent as 2020 in Brazil, so go out and vote if you're in Brazil. The Amazing World of Gumball and Don't Hug Me I'm Scared connections. In the episode, The Puppets, when Gumball and Darwin went into the puppet world, the style changes to puppetry. The puppet style and designs might look very familiar. Well, that's because this entire sequence was done by the duo who created Don't Hug Me I'm Scared series. As a matter of fact, this episode was created in collaboration with Blink Industries, the company that produced the infamous web series. The series creators, Rebecca Sloan and Joseph Pelling, served as co-writers for the episode as well.
You are not invited to the party.
Wait, what?
Hanna-Barbera Beyond. In 2016, DC Comics started a comic book series about a dark interpretation of classic Hanna-Barbera franchises, such as Johnny Quest, Flintstones, Jetsons, Scooby-Doo, Wacky Racers, The Rough and Ready Show, and Snagglepuss, with DC naming them Future Quest, Scooby Apocalypse, Wacky Raceland, and Axis Stage Left, The Snagglepuss Chronicles, respectively. Quickly going down that order, Future Quest is sort of a crossover action comic book series with Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, and Birdman, to name a few. Scooby Apocalypse is set in a post-apocalyptic world where the monsters are real this time, for the third time, I think. The Flintstones goes through the dawn of society as the cavemen now start questioning many topics that have become common in the modern age, such as marriage, religion, and more. Wacky Raceland basically turned into Mad Max. Rough and Ready are now has-beens after their show came to an end and want to make a comeback. And finally, Axis Stage Left, The Snagglepuss Chronicles depicts Snagglepuss as a gay playwright in the 1950s being victimized under McCarthyism, with Huckleberry Hound, who is a closeted gay, and Quick Draw McCraw being a police officer or sheriff. There are many more other crossovers such as Green Lantern and Space Ghost, and Aquaman and Jabberjaw, but that's all I can cover. Moving on. Courage the Cowardly Dog meets Scooby-Doo. Not gonna lie, this is one crossover that makes a lot of sense. I mean, a dog who lives in the middle of nowhere with constant troubles caused by supernatural and paranormal beings, crossing over with a group of teens who are known for debunking ghosts and monsters? Sign me up! Anyways, yeah, these shows cross over at one point. Unfortunately, the crossover is not a full episode, only on bumpers and promos, the first of which is from a Halloween promo for the Scooby-Doo Courage the Cowardly Dog Scare-a-thon, which was a marathon event of episodes from Courage and Scooby-Doo airing back-to-back from one another. To kick off the marathon, the first promo bumper had the Mystery Gang stop by the middle of nowhere after a power outage, and Muriel suggests they should tell ghost stories to pass the time. You know, just like the book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Eustace even goes as far as to bet Velma that Courage is more cowardly than Scoob. Spoilers, Courage wins at the end of the marathon. The ghost stories they tell each other are basically the characters' episodes that play during the marathon. Not gonna lie, that's a really nice way to make a marathon work. The other crossover bumper was a nightmare Courage has with Shaggy and Scooby disguised as mummies, and later Courage waking up from it. But most importantly, there's going to be a Scooby-Doo and Courage crossover movie scheduled to be released on the 14th of September 2021 as a direct-to-DVD movie, as usual. And no, the creator of Courage, John R. Dilworth, is not involved in the making of this movie. This is the one and only Scooby-Doo crossover that actually makes sense. This movie should have come out way back in the golden age, but you know what? With the resurgence of early 2000s nostalgia, now is a better time than ever, I guess. Fred from Scooby-Doo swearing. This bumper, right here.
You know, throughout the years, a lot of people have asked me, Fred, why the scarf? And I always tell them the same thing. Why don't you mind your own f***ing business, pal? I'm a cartoon star. I have more f***ing people telling me what I want to wear. So don't be afraid to express your true self. And remember, fashion first.
Cartoon Network Po. the one and only block from Cartoon Network that aired exclusively on certain Latin American countries, such as Argentina and our old friend Chile. During the block, they would air mostly exclusive Latin American shows like, yet again, another old friend of ours, 31 Minutos. The block itself would have its own unique bumpers with the modern characters partaking in Chilean culture. Sounds nice. The Scooby-Doo Project, a live-action animation hybrid series of bumpers parodying the Blair Witch Project that aired on the Halloween of 1999. Just like in the Blair Witch Project, all of the bumpers were told through the found footage style about their investigation and in the end, leading to their disappearances. The concept of this parody is very creative actually. What if the Mystery Gang recorded their investigations and the villain actually got away with their disappearances? And it was executed really well for a series of bumpers, the documentary style documenting the police evidence, real models of the Mystery Machine and Scooby snacks to properly fit in with the real world surroundings. Even the Mystery Gang fit in with their surroundings despite being animated, and the bumpers themselves have an uneasy atmosphere. The Scooby-Doo Project ends with the Mystery Gang catching the suspect, revealing his identity, but as it turns out, the real monster is out there, and most likely kills the Mystery Gang.
Ruby van was found beside a dirt road. Search parties have spent several days searching the woods and found hundreds of Scooby snacks, but no trace of the teenage sleuths have been found.
Team Fortress 2 connections. Valve's Team Fortress 2, which I will shorten to TF2 from now on, had one and only one televised advertisement, which aired on Adult Swim in 2013, the best year ever. This ad was apparently meant to show that a TF2 show was going to be made for Adult Swim, but it was cancelled. In the ad, we can see that Blue Team is watching The Venture Brothers, which is an Adult Swim show, and there are cosmetics based on The Venture Brothers. Not just Venture Brothers, but there's another cosmetic based on Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Robot Chicken. Oh, and in one episode of The Venture Brothers, TF2 is being played. Another homage to TF2 can be found in Robot Chicken, another Adult Swim show, as there was a parody of TF2 in one of their episodes. This isn't connected to Cartoon Network, but I still feel it is worth mentioning since we are in the topic of TF2. The expiration date short from 2014 didn't just promote the Love and War update for the game, was also meant to be a pilot for an upcoming TF2 show, which would focus on Scout and Miss Pauling doing missions together. As you can hear, Miss Pauling lists her many jobs to Scout at the very end of the short.
Tomorrow, I'm belt sanding the fingerprints off a pile of corpses.
No.
Oh, you could help me yank the molars out of a box full of heads.
Noted it.
Okay, well, Friday I've got to kill somebody who pressed a briefcase alarm button and... you're already gonna be at that one.
Mega Man Star Force anime on Toonami. What makes this specific anime special enough to be included in the Iceberg? Well, the show's first televised US debut was on Toonami on the 25th of August 2007, which was edited as a 2-hour-long movie composed of episodes 1 through 9 and some heavily slimmed down versions of episodes 12, 15, and 16. The series would never air in normal episodic format on US television, and subsequent episode airings online revealed that the unusual edits are exclusive to its television appearance. Futurama on Toonami. The closest to what I can find regarding this is a Coming Up Next from 2004, where, as you can see, Futurama airs right after Rurouni Kenshin. However, this is most likely showing that Toonami ends with Rurouni Kenshin and regular Adult Swim continues with Futurama, because Futurama ain't no anime I ever heard of. And there's another one that I found from 2007, again, on Toonami. Rebecca Sugar drew Etta and Eddie Prawn. The creator of Steven Universe has, in fact, drawn, Corn of Ed and Double D. I want to make it clear that I am in no way homophobic at all, but this is straight up not safe for life. And she didn't just draw this, she also drew one with Linguini and Remy from Ratatouille. Okay, I should probably stop right now. Buenos dias, Mandy. I don't want to talk about this at all. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then you don't want to know, nor should you know. Trust me. Oh, and I know what I'm showing right now isn't the original picture. I ain't showing y'all the original image, so F off. Jared Shapiro, a supporting character from the 2016 Powerpuff Girls reboot who is also apparently Blossom's love interest. What makes this particular character worth mentioning is that once he was first introduced in the show, fans of the original show criticized his inclusion since he has a resemblance to Jake Goldman, who writes episodes for the reboot and also voices the character. I mean, in his first episode, Blossom and him need to perform a play together, and Blossom goes as far as to fantasize about him. Since this episode is written by Jake Goldman as well, people have been speculating that this episode and Jared Shapiro himself is just a self-insert. Apparently this was confirmed to be false, but still, this is just weird and disturbing.
Why shouldn't you put a toast
toaster in a bathtub full of water?
Because your toast would get soggy.
The dawn is your enemy. When Adult Swim would end every 6 a.m. between the years of 2005 and 2010, this creepy sign-off would appear. The purpose of this was to scare any children who would try to stay up late at night to watch Adult Swim. Somewhat related, this reminds me of the game Until Dawn, a speculation of mine. Since Adult Swim ends every 6 a.m., I feel the phrase, "the dawn is your enemy," is basically saying that the dawn is regular Cartoon Network programming, so therefore, regular CN is Adult Swim's enemy. But that's just me. There's even a rumor going around that in some airings, at the very end, the sun winks at you. Disney Lucasfilm buyout. On the 30th of October 2012, Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion. As part of their contract for buying Lucasfilm, any and all Star Wars related projects being worked on prior to the buyout were to be cancelled, such as the game Star Wars 1313. How did this affect Cartoon Network? Because of the Clone Wars, which was airing on Cartoon Network at the time. Season 5 was the last season that aired on Cartoon Network, and since the buyout happened, that means the series had to be cancelled. But as I mentioned before in part 1.5, Season 6 was on Netflix and the final season aired on Disney+. Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars was under a tight net for a while. It aired on Cartoon Network and distributed by Warner Bros. Television, so would it appear on HBO Max? No. Star Wars is Star Wars, and any Star Wars product is now owned by Disney, so the series can now be seen on Disney Plus under the Vintage Star Wars tab. Latin American Adult Swim. Back in Latin America, Adult Swim ran into its own fair share of issues. The block first aired on the 17th of October 2005, with the usual run until the 19th of November 2007, when it was removed from Cartoon Network and was brought over to iSat, another channel owned by Turner Broadcast. It didn't live long on iSat either, since it was dealing with low ratings and therefore had to be removed on the 1st of December 2010. However, on the 3rd of November 2014, it came back on TBS, only in Brazil. But on the 3rd of April 2015, iSat brought it back to their channel for one last time, but when the world needed it most, it finally came back. On the 6th of January 2018, the block began broadcasting throughout all of Latin America on TBS. As of the 2nd of May 2020, the block started airing on the Warner Channel, and no longer airing on iSat or TBS. They're starting off slow compared to its North American counterpart by showing Final Space, The Rise of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken, and Rick and Morty. And I even saw an advert on Warner that they're airing The Shivering Truth. Latin American Toonami. In Latin America, the block premiered on Cartoon Network on the 2nd of December 2002, 5 years after the American counterpart's first broadcast, and was initially cancelled on the 26th of March 2007, 1 year before the official cancellation in America. In case you don't know, Toonami was cancelled because of low ratings, and so the block was revived on the 26th of May 2012 in America. Hey, what about over here in Latin America? Well, they got nothing for over 8 years until the block finally came back on the 31st of August 2020, at midnight, in partnership with Crunchyroll. As of now, the block airs Mondays through Fridays, with only airing Dragon Ball Super, Dr. Stone, and Mob Psycho 100. Land Before Time deleted scenes. The movie is not made exclusively for Cartoon Network, but, I decided to include it in since a lot of kids grew up watching this movie thanks to its airing on Cartoon Network. But yeah, The Land Before Time was released back in 1988. Jesus, is it that old? Yet, 6 months before the movie was completed, they had to cut some scenes out of the movie for being too intense for kids. Most of these scenes were found by the animation cells, concept art, storyboards, and even the illustrated books. Here are the many deleted scenes, starting with the extended chase sequence between Littlefoot, Sarah, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Sharptooth, which includes some extra scenes and close-ups of Sharptooth getting very close to the duo, and extended scenes with Littlefoot's mother fighting Sharptooth. An entirely cut scene with an even smaller Littlefoot and a snake. The other one is a scene when the trio tried to lure Spike with some berries. Sharptooth's extended death by showing his lifeless body slowly sinking deep into the lake with a boulder falling on top of him. And finally, an alternative ending to the movie. Right after Sharptooth's death, Littlefoot would sit atop the hill with his mother's spirit visiting him one last time and telling him to never forget her, and Littlefoot responding that he will never forget her and she'll live inside his heart. A number of cells are still being found decades after the movie's release, even as recent as November of 2020, although some people recollect watching these scenes in their entirety from previous broadcasts when they were kids, most likely on Mandela effects. Many more undiscovered cells, along with the complete uncut version, have gone extinct. Pikachu Biografia Toon. Biografia Toon is a short bumper series that aired exclusively on Latin America. The series was more of a parody of those documentary type series that document people or celebrity stories. Instead of actual people, the parody series would document cartoon characters and their fake origin/background stories, making it seem as if these characters have their own life and the show they're featured in is just a show in their own world. For this specific entry, this one covers Pikachu's life prior to the Pokemon anime and how he apparently had trouble generating electricity, so he used to be part of a circus act until he finally managed to generate electricity on his own, which led him to join the Pokemon anime. Duérmete, hazle caso a tus papás. This is indeed a very obscure Cartoon Network bumper that aired only in Latin America. The bumper's anime translates to "Go to sleep, pay attention to your parents," and is about the Spanish urban legend El Coco, which is the Latino version of the Boogeyman. Since the bumper is completely in Spanish, let me explain this to the non-Spanish speakers. The bumper goes through 3 different perspectives, each from the sun, El Coco, and the lamp. The kid is tucked into bed by his father. The dad turns on the lamp to keep El Coco away. El Coco is tucked into bed by the kid turns the father on. Oh god, that came out wrong. To keep the lamp away. And finally, the lamp is tucked into bed by the dad turns El Coco on. Okay, I need to stop saying that. To keep his son away. This is actually one out of many bumpers from a collection called Hacemos lo que queremos, which translates to "We do what we want to do." The other bumpers follow a similar formula with different subjects' perspectives. When you actually take a look at the bumper, you can see it's just a comedic take on the Coco urban legend and was meant for laughs and not to creep kids out or anything like the dawn is your enemy. Yet when looking for the bumper itself, I came across many Spanish YouTube videos talking about the bumper and tried so hard to make it seem as if this was some sort of cursed ad or that it was so controversial that Cartoon Network took it down because of backlash or some stupid shit like that, similar to the fake urban legend of the cursed Japanese Kleenex commercial, when in reality, it was none of that at all. Show creators' current projects. Let's end the Cartoon Network Iceberg duology with what the creators of the shows we grew up with are doing in the modern day, years after their respective shows ended and as we moved on with our lives. I am going to be blunt and say that I cherry-picked the specific creators, so I am sorry if I missed out on some creators. Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator of Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, and Symbionic Titan. So far, he seems to be doing really well for himself in recent years, as he still has many projects under his name. His recent projects are the animated opening for the 2011 movie Priest. He has been working with Sony Pictures Animations by directing the 3 Hotel Transylvania movies, and even wrote the 3rd one and the upcoming 4th movie. Was working on a Popeye movie before Sony cancelled it, as they instead chose to focus on the Emoji movie. Yes, really? However, Sony is giving his Popeye movie another chance. He also created the show Primal on Adult Swim from 2019, and is currently working on an upcoming HBO Max show called Unicorn Warriors Eternal. I, for once, am really glad he's still getting a lot of work done, as he's one of my biggest inspirations ever. Craig McCracken, creator of the Pop-Up Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Once Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends ended on the 3rd of May 2009, Craig resigned from Cartoon Network after 15 years of employment and created Wonder Over Yonder for Disney Channel in 2013. His most recent show is Kid Cosmic on Netflix, which released as recent as the 2nd of February 2021. Oh, and another thing, please do not harass him over the 2016 Pop-Up Girls reboot or even the upcoming CW live-action reboot. He has no involvement in either shows. Lauren Faust, creator of DC Superhero Girls and wife of Craig McCracken. She has written episodes for Pop-Up Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends while she was working for Cartoon Network, similar to her husband. She also wrote and worked on Wonder Over Yonder for Disney and even Kid Cosmic as well. Outside of both networks, she created My Little Pony Friendship is Magic for the Hub Network and only worked on the show's first 2 seasons as she parted ways after the 2nd season. Between the years of 2015 and 2020, she designed characters for the video game Dams Fight in Herds, which started off as a My Little Pony fan fighting game until Hasbro threw a cease and desist letter to the developers. But the developers continued to work on the game by instead using different models with the help of Lauren Faust. Currently, she is developing an unannounced animated series for Netflix. Van Partible, the creator of Johnny Bravo. After he was fired from his own show after the 1st season, he's been working on original materials for Film Roman, Walt Disney Television Animation, Fox Kids, and NBC. Partible served as an executive producer for Cartoon Network Asia's original programming from 2007 to 2012. Partible also worked on a video game titled Dancers of War alongside Scott Eaton of Call of Duty and Medal of Honor fame and Vince Clarke from Depeche Mode, which definitely looks like something he would do since it looks somewhat similar to Johnny Bravo. Oh, and there's this line in the Kickstarter trailer.
It's the Macarena from hell!
But unfortunately, the project ended after the Kickstarter campaign was unsuccessful, which is a damn shame since this looks like a lot of fun. And yeah, of course he worked on Johnny Bravo Goes to Bollywood. He is currently teaching animation workshops at Loyola Marymount University, works as a director at Surfer Jack Productions, and is directing the Pete the Cat series for Amazon. Danny Antonucci, the creator of Edda and Eddie. Some of you guys might already know this, but for those who don't, Danny created Edda and Eddie as part of a bet, which he lost. Since the 4th of September 2008, he signed on for Wildbrain and is working on 3 projects, one of them being a new show called Snot Rocket, which is a pilot as of now. Who knows, it might get picked up sooner or later. I hope soon. Maxwell Adams, the creator of Billy and Mandy and Evil Con Carne. To me, this is the most unfortunate case of the bunch. Don't worry now, he's still alive and well. However, he just hasn't been very successful after Billy and Mandy's conclusion. He originally planned to continue Billy and Mandy's legacy with another spin-off show called Underfist. To get an idea what the series could have been, you probably already saw it, as the unofficial pilot was Billy and Mandy's final episode. The reason why the show never went through was because of CN Real, and most of the crew had already moved on anyways. Outside of Billy and Mandy, Max had started working on a new web series called Dead Meat since 2012, which was going to be a black comedy buddy action puppet web series. The series was even successfully funded on Kickstarter, yet unfortunately, after many years while in production, since January of 2021, the series had to be shelved and Max had to refund all of the Kickstarter backers' money back due to expensive costs and contractual issues.
Holy crud, this is my best idea ever!
On some lighter notes, he was working on the show Banicula from 2016 until 2018 and recently directed and wrote 2 Scooby-Doo direct-to-DVD movies, which came full circle for him since he made many Hanna-Barbera references in Billy and Mandy. He made a very, very brief voice cameo on the pilot episode of Hazbin Hotel.
Wow! That was shit.
Currently, he's answering questions on his Tumblr blog, so go ahead and ask him some questions if you'd like. Just please don't harass him. I really hope he keeps getting work or makes it big again, as he's one of my biggest influences as well. John R. Dilworth, the creator of Courage the Cowardly Dog. He still works for many other show networks and still uploads videos on his own YouTube channel. He did make a 3D CG pilot for his possible Courage the Cowardly Dog revival, known as The Fog of Courage. The pilot, however, has only aired on Southeastern Asian Cartoon Network channels around November of 2013. Although, US residents can watch the pilot on YouTube, Cartoon Network still hasn't greenlit that possible revival. Recently, his most notable animation was in 2017 when he uploaded Goose in High Heels. Other than that, he is still working for his company, Stretch Films, and frequently uploads videos on YouTube. Tom Warburn, also known as Mr. Warburn, creator of The Kids Next Door. After finishing the K&D, Warburn pitched his first children's book titled 1000 Times No.
1,000 times no!
Which was released on the 28th of April 2009 and thankfully received positive reviews. An animated version based on the book was made for Nickelodeon's Nick Jr. segment. Since 2010, Mr. Warburn has been working for Disney Channel for its many shows. On the 19th of March 2015, an animatic for a possible spin-off/sequel series was uploaded on the Rainbow Monkeys website with the title of Galactic Kids Next Door. After the release of the animatic, many fans have petitioned to get the show greenlit. However, on the 19th of June 2015, Mr. Warburn announced that Cartoon Network doesn't have any current plans to continue the K&D series and has rejected the Galactic Kids Next Door series idea. Despite that setback, Mr. Warburn is still confident that he'll try to get the series greenlit again sometime in the future, as he is still posting many sketches of the Galactic Kids Next Door. C.H. Greenblatt, the creator of Chowder, and also the voice of Fred Fredberg from Billy and Mandy. He stopped working on Chowder as he was running out of ideas, so he chose to end it rather than keep the show running. After that, he has written episodes for Adventure Time and Regular Show. Outside of Cartoon Network, he created Harvey Beaks for Nickelodeon, which also ended. He is currently working on the upcoming HBO Max show, Jellystone, which will feature a lot of iconic Hanna-Barbera characters. From the trailer alone, I'm getting some serious Looney Tunes show vibes. Heck, maybe this show is an unintentional spiritual successor to the Looney Tunes show. Instead of Looney Tunes characters, it's Hanna-Barbera characters. Turup Van Orman, creator of The Misadventures of Flapjack. Not much really, other than directing the sequel to the Angry Birds movie.
Okay.
Well, other than that, he is also working on a stop-motion film titled Black Forest, a movie about Vikings, and an unannounced movie for Sony. Pendleton Ward, the creator of Adventure Time. Since he also works for Federated Studios, he created Bravest Warriors in 2012, available on Cartoon Hangover's YouTube channel. Although he did step down from running Adventure Time since the show's 5th season, his most recent show is Netflix's The Midnight Gospel, which was released on the 10th of April 2020. J.G. Quinzel, the creator of Regular Show. After Regular Show's conclusion, Quinzel started working on an adult animated slice-of-life show called Close Enough, which was originally going to air on TBS in 2017. However, after Louis C.K.'s sexual assault allegations, TBS had put Close Enough in development hell. Until, fortunately, Warner Media Entertainment had released Close Enough in 2020 as part of HBO Max's lineup of exclusive content for the streaming service. Although it is available on Netflix for the countries that don't have access to HBO Max, better luck never, TBS.
You serious?
You know, this is just my opinion, but I personally feel Close Enough should have aired on Adult Swim instead, and later be part of HBO Max. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. An adult-oriented show airing on a block meant for adults that airs on the exact same channel as his previous show. Most of Regular Show's audience were already adults by the time Close Enough was released, unless you were born in 2003 or later.
You serious?
So the whole thing would have come full circle. Besides, many people said the Regular Show felt like a show that would air on Adult Swim, so that would have been their dream come true. In the end of the day, we cannot deny that these creators had helped shape our childhoods for so many years, and I would like to give my special thanks to all of them for inspiring me to pursue a career in animation and story writing. Most notably, Gandhi, Lauren Foss, Maxwell Adams, Mr. Warburton, and J.G. Quinzel. Truly, thank you for everything and the childhood memories. Oh hi there! Looks like you finally reached the ending of yet another quality video of mine. I'd like to thank you all yet again for sticking through the end. That and giving the video a like means a lot to me. Of course, if you have any feedback or opinion on the video, leave a comment down below so I'll take whatever it is you wrote into consideration. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, but before I go, until I see you guys again in a month or two, I have yet another special announcement for my current and future subscribers and an update on 2 icebergs I was planning on covering. If you guys remember, I announced on part 1.5 that I'd be making more icebergs. 2 of those upcoming icebergs are video game related, so I made a second channel that will focus solely on video game content. Over there is where I'll upload the Left 4 Dead iceberg and the Mortal Kombat iceberg. So go and subscribe to my second channel for those videos. I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. I already have one video available there, so check it out as well. Now you might be asking, why not just upload those icebergs over in this channel? In the future, when I plan on focusing on YouTube, I'd prefer to split the type of content into 2 channels. This channel, the main channel, will be focusing on movies and TV shows, while the second channel will be on video games. In case, let's say, someone is only interested in movies and not video games at all, that person could stick to the main channel, and vice versa. Now, obviously, one can choose to subscribe to both if they like both content. Now for the update. The lost/cancelled video games iceberg and Evangelion iceberg videos are cancelled.
What happened to Mr. Confidence?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but let me explain why I chose to cancel the lost/cancelled video game iceberg. For the most part, it's because of the YouTube user Accessible Funky uploading his own explanation video of the exact same iceberg. Now, don't get me wrong, just because someone covered the same iceberg I was planning on covering as well doesn't mean I'll cancel the video immediately. It's just that Accessible Funky did a much better job than I could covering this iceberg, so instead of spending my time working on a video that will come across as a bit inferior, I'll just leave it be. For the Evangelion iceberg, well, there was an Evangelion entry in this iceberg. However, as I was editing the specific entry during the YouTube's processing, apparently the AVA footage is copyright claimed and will block the video worldwide, and I ain't risking that shit. I don't know how this is affecting me since there are many videos on YouTube that use AVA footage, but I don't know.
I'm sick and tired of this shit!
Don't fight the law. Well, on the bright side, I still have an individual video not uploaded on this channel about the AVA entry, and if you want to see what that entry was about, click the link below. And there is another YouTube user that explained the same Evangelion iceberg I was planning on covering, and even uploaded a second part to it. The channel is MagninusCQ, so for anyone interested in those icebergs, check their respective videos out. Links are in the description. Let them know I sent y'all. To compensate for canceling those iceberg videos, I'll cover 2 new iceberg charts for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not forcing myself or even doing this out of obligation. I genuinely want to cover these 2 icebergs, those being the Scott Pilgrim iceberg and the movie fan theories iceberg. Here's the new updated schedule for my upcoming videos. Up next is a Scott Pilgrim iceberg explained, movie fan theories iceberg, Left 4 Dead iceberg, cancelled movies iceberg, MCU iceberg, and now the true series finale to my iceberg explained series, the Mortal Kombat iceberg. So if you're looking forward to any of these icebergs, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell to not miss them the instant they come out. That is all. Okay, now for real, I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out my second channel and be on the lookout for me. Bye bye.